All right, so if you just start relaxing and find a position that you are comfortable in, and we can already start to close our eyes. And just allow our awareness to gravitate back into the body. Going through some emotional layers, we might feel the emotions that have been gathering since we last brought our attention to them. We can feel now our emotional body, our emotional self, and just kind of connect with it and see what kind of sensations we have in the emotional body, what sort of feelings or emotions are gathered here. And just as we did with the habits and everything that happened the last weeks, we realize that it is the same for our emotional state. So the way to release our emotions and what we have been accumulating is, first of all, we disconnect from the mental chatter, we can call it. So we disconnect from the thoughts that we have about a certain situation, a certain aspect of our lives. And by disconnecting, we stop fueling a certain emotional state. And we feel that we become more centered, and that by loosening the attention from the thoughts or the grip that we have on the thoughts, then we just allow these emotions to be felt. And maybe not all of them are what we would call, or what we are used to say that is a pleasant or a comfortable sensation. But if we understand that all emotions are equal in a way, in the sense that they are all sensations, we will gradually stop to pick and choose which one is our favorite and which one we do not want to feel. And then we would just allow any sensation that comes up to just exist, to manifest itself. And by feeling and observing it without any desire towards rejection, any intention in that direction, just simply settling more and more in our core. And simply allowing these sensations, emotions to exist, to be felt. And now we can notice what happens and what is the difference between how we felt a few moments ago when we started and how our emotional body, or we can call it emotional landscape, feels now. And we understand that the natural movement of these sensations is to feel it more rarefied, less intense, as we stop fueling them and we start allowing them to exist, and we just feel them and observe the transformation. And if we allow enough time and get enough practice with this, we will see that everything, the moment we stop interfering, just goes back into balance. Because that is the way of things. We forgot about the natural balance of our own being, about the natural balance of our own state, about the natural balance of our existence. And through that, and through our actions from this point of out of balance, so things around us become out of balance as well. And they become difficult, challenging, exhausting. And if we could go back to this state and remember this natural balance within us and allow it to settle more and more on all levels of our being, to the more subtle ones until the less subtle ones. So if we allow this natural balance to just settle, to manifest itself on all levels of our being, we will first notice what changes for us. and how our state changes. The feelings change, the sensations in our body change. And what is important is to notice that we are not performing any action that leads to this equilibrium, this harmonization that is taking place right now on all levels of our being. This is a natural state for us. And we might find that we enjoy it very much because it just feels like home. It just feels like how things should feel like, or how we remember, or how we would like to feel at all times. So it's a remembering that takes place, and we will allow every aspect of our being to remember and to reconnect deeply on all levels with this truth of our existence. And there is a natural feeling of peace with this, a natural feeling of warmth, of gentleness, of well-being. And sets us in a very open and loving disposition, first of all towards ourselves, and then we feel how it kind of like goes out into the room and touches everything around us, touches everybody that we are interacting with, in all ways, touches all the situations in our life. And we might get maybe some images of things adjusting, balancing, situations. But we may just feel how this feeling becomes of balance, of equilibrium, of well-being, becomes more and more felt in our being on all levels. And we feel very centered, very awake, very aware. But everything is kind of revolved in this gentleness and warmth. And we now feel that it is just exuding from our being all around us, touching everything around us and everything that is connected to us in any way. And everything gently goes in its natural state as well. Everything that is connected to us in any way. And the more we allow this state to simply work its way, the more we feel at peace, the more we feel like we are comfortable with what is happening inside of us, outside of us. And we see how things change and transform without our mental desires and interference. We see how everything comes into balance and harmony with what we are feeling inside. So the love that we feel in our heart changes everything in our life, everything around us. Everything that is connected to us in any way. And we feel happy and at peace and delighted that this is happening and that we are allowing it to happen so graciously, so effortlessly. And we allow this process of harmonization, of rebalancing everything within us and everything around us, everything that we are connected with in any way, to simply take its course and continue in this gentle unfolding. As long as it is needed. And it will continue as long as it is needed. And we continue to notice the changes that are taking place. Within us and around us. And we feel and observe everything transforming. We notice all the sensations that we have in our body. We are aware of how this warmth just adjusts everything, puts everything back in its place, everything back in its axis. Everything becomes centered and balanced. Everything goes back into equilibrium. The most natural state of all for us is perfect balance, equilibrium, and this permeating sense of harmony within and without. And as we said before, this process is going to continue for as long as it is needed in this extremely loving and gentle pace. And every day we can reconnect with this natural balance, this centered equilibrium and harmony, and reconnect with the whole process that is unfolding in all aspects of our being and in all areas of our lives. And now we will be shown how to reconnect with this natural state of equilibrium. And how we can feel it and allow it to happen, no matter where we are, no matter what we are doing at the moment, and no matter what is going on around us. And now, in this balanced, centered, awake, and loving state, we also allow ourselves to receive any information, any insights that our own being wants to communicate to us now. And we allow these insights or messages or information to just become conscious, understandable, and something that we can remember at all times. And also, we are remembering now that this is the state from where we can create anything in our life. And birth it into existence. From the most centered, balanced, aware state. Everything springs out of existence, into existence, naturally, effortlessly. And everything is transformed through the will of our being that is rearranging its reality to be the best and most supportive for its own expansion and unfolding. For our being to reach is its maximum point of expression. Full expression and embodiment of our potential, manifested in our lives at all levels. And this is how we create from the source of our being. And now we allow any process that is still ongoing to continue until completion, or to simply continue if it's meant to continue for longer, in the same direction, in the same balance, harmony, and equilibrium as it was initiated, originated, based on the deep wants of our being, of what it wants to express, what it wants to experience, what it wants to understand and live. Bringing all that into the world, gently, lovingly, with utmost clarity, wisdom, and love. And now we gather all of our awareness and consciousness, presence, being in our body, here, now, where we are. We become fully embodied and present here in the room, here in this moment. We start to feel aware of our body, everything that surrounds us, sounds in the room, temperature of the room. We are fully present, awake, and aware here and now. And as we feel ready, we can start to gently and softly open our eyes, keeping the same awareness, clarity, centeredness as before.